Good evening. I took last night off. I've been taking a lot of nights off lately from streaming. Hopefully nobody holds that against me. Just some nights, some nights you just want to chill. And last night was one of those nights. Hey, what's up, Suhas? How are you? Abhishek, how are you, Abhishek? Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Suhas was the first one today into the stream. Actually, it's been a minute since I've seen you, Suhas, in any of my streams, so I hope you're doing well. Good, man. I'm glad to hear that. I have to hydrate. You gotta hydrate before you code, right? What are doing? I'm getting ready to work on my... Yeah, I'm gonna use VS Code tonight, just as a change of pace. I was using it earlier today while I was coding, and I was like, man, I really miss VS Code. So, I'm going to give myself a little NeoVim break tonight and use VS Code. I've been working on this feature. I've been working on adding support for citations in this SDK I wrote, and I think I'm almost done. The last thing I need to add support for is for streaming. So, once I get that implemented, I think I'll be ready to merge this branch. Abhishek, VS Code can be used with NeoVim key mapping. There is an official extension. Yes, I do know that. And I actually tried the NeoVim extension, but I actually prefer just the plain Vim extension. So I'm actually using... so I tried this one. I think this is the one you're referring to, Abhishek. This VS Code Vim. I didn't care for it because it kind of makes for a strange experience because it kind of basically loads a NeoVim buffer, I think, into VS Code, which, I don't know, just felt weird. So I've just been using Vim, the Vim emulation for VS Code extension. This is what I'm using. And I basically just added key maps that reflect my key maps from NeoVim. And that's been pretty good. Suhas, how is bro consistent with his coding? Do you mean how am I consistent, Suhas? How do I stay consistent with coding? Is that what you're asking? Yeah, yes, okay. It's kind of a hard question to ask or answer. So the reason why it's a hard question to answer is because part of it is just I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. It's kind of like lifting weights for me. It's just something I get a lot of enjoyment from doing. And when you enjoy something, it's very easy to make yourself do it. But I guess if I was to give someone else advice, I think my advice would be, if you want to be consistent with something, or I guess how I stay consistent with coding is, it has to be part of the story about yourself. right? So part of the story I tell about myself is that I write code every day. Part of the story I tell about myself is I lift weights every day, or I do some form of exercise or movement every day. I think that's ultimately how something becomes a long-standing habit, is it just becomes something you do. Um, and it's hard in the beginning, but after a while, it's just like brushing your teeth. But I know that's also, it's easy for me to say that because I don't look at writing code as a chore. Like, it's 8:44 on a Saturday, and my choice of activity is to sit down and write code. So that's, it's probably a little unfair for me to give advice to other people. And I don't necessarily I think you can be a programmer for your job, right? And not write code outside your job. So if that's more of your thing, go for it. Hey, what's up, Arkin? How are you? Good to see you again. Hello, Russell. How are you? Are you caffeinated this evening, Russell? Have you built a whole nother GitHub organization and published like 10 more NPM packages? While in the same time, I've written one test. Basically. Suas, I want you to give me your reaction to something I wrote. Sure, man. I'm happy to hear it. You can put it in the YouTube chat or put it in Discord. Either one's fine. Russell, I'm highly stimulated. Hopefully it's just caffeine on board. Hopefully there's no other suspect stimulants involved. All right, so I added support for all the different types of citations that Anthropic supports. And so now I'm at this place where what do I want to say? Now I'm at this place where I need to support the same functionality, but for when messages are being streamed. And so basically I just need to reuse these tests is basically what I need to do. So let's just put that there. And we'll go 33K. Okay, when citations are enabled for text document source, it should return citations in response. Yes. I'm going to say when streaming and citations. And then the only thing we need to do here is we need to make this a stream message request. That's the only thing we have to change. And then this result actually becomes an async enumerable. So this is the way that I've implemented a solution to be able to yield up events as they're streamed in from the API. The async enumerable, I actually made a video about this. If you're a C# dev, I actually made a video about how cool this interface is. Hold on, why am I doing that? I made a video about how I use it to make paging easier. But you can do a lot with it. Let's see, videos. Where is it? It's a few back. This one right here. How I use async enumerable to make pagination easier. This is a pretty cool video. And this interface that .NET has in it which basically if you're from the JavaScript world, it's very similar to like async iterables in JavaScript. Kind of the same thing. It's pretty cool. All right, but I've got to change what I'm doing here now because this is a different return type. Russell, I pushed like 300 commits today and like 40 tags. I'm up to 15 repos in the new org so far. Published a whole bunch of new node modules and templates. Man, Russell, you're just churning out code, dude. Asif, I am Nest.js dev. I don't think I've ever used Nest. Do you like it? I mean, I guess you like it if that's the kind of developer you are. Nest. You're talking about this, right? Nest.js. I've actually never used this before. I guess I should probably try it at some point, huh? Russell, my stimulants are caffeine, nicotine, THC, and sugar. Dang, dude, those are nicotine and caffeine together, man. That'll make for some very productive days. Suhas, do you agree with the points I make and how it is the note? Are you talking about, did you put something in Discord? Give me a sec. Let me look. Let's see. Suhas said, oh wow, there's a lot here, Suhas. What are you asking about? Defining a project. What is a project? I think you've shared this with me before, Suhas. I'm scanning the document that you put in Discord. Also, if you guys aren't in Discord, here's the link to the Discord if you're curious what Suhas sent me. It's basically just a note about like kind of ideas around what is a project and how to start a project. But I'm scanning it, Suhas, and it seems, yeah, I don't have any problem with it, with what you wrote. Oh, it's a different one? Oh, it looks, the content in it or the idea behind it seems similar. Russell 1000 times vibe coder. Who's a vibe coder? You or me? Okay, so basically what we need to do so we need to collect all the events. So we'll say var events, and then we'll say await like that. And then we'll say var, yep, message complete event. Or did I call it something different? Message. Must have called it something different. Huh. Wonder why I did that. Okay, and then here, now that we have that, we can say message complete, or message, gosh dang it, message complete event data like that. Oh, we need to await this up here. Oh, we have to cast it. Message complete event data. Message dot content. Ugh, that's pretty nasty there, but that's what we have to do to get it. Russell, I'm vibe coding all this out. Oh, you mean you're all those npm modules, everything you're making, you're doing it with vibe coding? Russell, I mean I'm carefully orchestrating AI agents to perform specific modifications. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's a lot of people who claim to have these AI agents completely under their beck and control, and I have yet to. I've yet to. I mean, I've used Copilot Agent Mode quite a bit lately. Like over the last 2 weeks, I've been using it more and more. And I just get frustrated because it either gets stuck in a loop or it does way too much or way too little. And it just kind of becomes frustrating. It's really good at documentation. It does awesome. When I ask it to add XML comments or JS doc comments or write a README, it's awesome at that. But when I ask it to do like significant changes, I get kind of frustrated. Arkin, just drank a barrel worth of coffee. Pray for me. That's, yeah. That sounds like my life, Arkin, so I'll pray for you. Suhas, when it comes to coding a new feature or refactoring or anything to do with the code, best luck. I guess you're talking about from vibe coding, maybe? Suhas, why don't you react to stuff how Primeagen does? I mean, I can if that's what. Would you guys enjoy that kind of content? I'd be happy to do like collect some articles or things to read or things to watch, and we can definitely do streams like that. That hasn't been something I've done. Not a fan of React content. Yeah, I mean, we can mix it up. We can do a little bit of coding. We can do a little bit of reacting. I mean, the funny thing is my opinions are usually not very hot on anything. Like my takes on stuff are usually pretty plain and chill. I mean, Primeagen's personality is like 10x bigger than mine, right? So like his reactions are probably much more entertaining. Russell, I'm mostly using Copilot Agent when I'm working with a single project, but I have a custom agent I wrote that I use for cross-project updates. So Russell, when you say you have a custom agent, is what you mean that you did this? So when you say you have a custom agent, does that basically mean you have a set of tools that you defined? Like you have a set of tools and then you have a prompt? And then you just have this running in a loop? Is that what you mean by a custom agent? And then you just, by a loop, I mean you send this to the model provider, and then they send a response back. Is that what you mean? And then you just let this thing run in a loop and it just calls whatever tools you've provided it. I mean, that's what all these coding agents are. I mean, unless you've invented some new thing, it's kind of like that. Sure, yeah. I mean, that's what all the under the hood. That's what all these coding agents are. They're just, they're a bunch of tools with a prompt, and they have a running context, and they get the output of tools, and then they send it back in. And then when the context gets too big for the context window of the model, they summarize the context and then start, and then go again. Hey, what's up, Peter? What are we making? Peter, I'm working on adding some functionality to a C# class library that I built for the Anthropic API. Peter, are we talking NAN? No, we're not talking NAN. I haven't actually gotten very deep in the N8N world, although I've seen and I've heard a lot of content around it. People really love them some N8N. I love like the graphs, like the crazy diagrams people show of their N8N configurations. It's pretty wild. But it seems like a wonderful platform for people to use who want something that's a little bit more no code or low code. So I think it's an awesome platform. Fly Fisher, what's up, man? Just stopping by to say hey and have a good night. Keep up the good work. Well, that's very kind of you, Fly Fisher. The last 2 times you've stopped by the stream, you've been very, very generous with your kindness. So thank you. It's nice to have somebody out there rooting for you. All right, so basically this is the test. It's a very simple test. And it should fail. When I run it, it should fail. It's this unknown content type, citations delta. So it's failing because there is a new citations delta type in there, and I am not handling it. So we need to address that. So right here, where it says content block delta, and then delta is type citations delta, we just need to write a new model that basically handles this. So this actually should be pretty straightforward. Famous last words. This should be pretty straightforward to do. Peter, I'm no code. A friend put me on to Bolt and today Firebase by Google. It's free. Yeah, I've heard great things about Bolt. I've always heard really great things about Firebase. Peter, if you like that type of tool, I would really encourage you to check out convex.dev. They're kind of like a Firebase alternative. They also have a product called Chef, which is sort of like a Bolt or a Lovable, but it's specific to convex. So if you'd be interested, I would recommend both these things. I mean, Firebase is great and Bolt's great. So if that's kind of where your mind's at, no worries. But I really like convex, and I haven't tried Chef, but all the demos I've seen of it look really cool. If you're kind of in that vibe coder sort of world, so I would highly recommend it. They make like, if you're trying to build really like, the thing I love about convex is if you're trying to build really rich interactive front ends with like a lot of reactivity to it, meaning, you know, when you update something, it immediately is reflected. The data is immediately reflected on all clients very easily. Convex is great for that, right? It's just, if you have to implement that type of functionality yourself on the front end, it's complicated, and convex makes it like a snap of your finger to do. I mean, and again, Firebase has the same idea. Supabase kind of has a similar idea, but I find convex to be a better product. Hey, what's up, Azim? How are you? Happy Sunday. Yeah, happy. I'm still. You're talking to me from the future. It's still Saturday here, but time zones are a weird thing. Azim, my new project requires me to learn Next.js and DevOps under 20 days, as the developer is leaving the organization, and I need to complete the entire KT sessions under 2 weeks. What is a KT session, Azim? I don't know what that means. Peter, like a AI voice drive assistant, headless CRM that isn't a CRM I'm working on. That, Peter, that's the project you're building? Azim, knowledge transfer sessions. Dude, that's, well, I think knowledge transfer sessions are good. I think that's a wonderful idea. I think in execution, they're probably not as useful as we'd like them to be. But it sounds like you're going to have a lot to learn, right? I mean, the wonderful thing about Next.js is it's so popular. There's just so much documentation and tutorials and people writing about it and talking about it. So that's really good for you. I guess I'm curious on the DevOps side. What are they having you learn from a DevOps perspective? Because that's kind of a whole discipline, you know? I mean, that's just, or at least the way I think of DevOps. And, you know, I think of DevOps are people who know a lot about development. They know a lot about just infrastructure and networking, and they're kind of a blend of that, like, IT person with also a very strong development background. But I know at every company, DevOps means something a little different, so. In DevOps, they have set up the application pipeline using Azure DevOps via containers. Oh, I think you'll be able to pick that up. Yeah. If you're just meaning you need to know how to write like a YAML pipeline and keep it up to date and everything, I think you'll be all right. Yeah, I think you'll definitely be able to do that. Deploying Next.js in a container, that's not super common. I feel like most people are using Vercel to deploy their Next.js site. Hello, Afro DJack. Thanks for stopping by. All right, so what do we call this? We call this citation delta, maybe? Peter, yes, a follow-up. Neurodivergent friendly will capture calls live and apply disk profile. Meant for B2B, coaches, consultants, investors, VC, a follow-up assistant without the CRM complexity. That's kind of nice. Like, I think there's probably a large number of applications that could probably be oriented in that direction. So it's basically like a CRM, but get rid of the front end and use AI, right? That's kind of what we're talking about there, Peter. Suhas, what your opinion starting on facing a project? You mean like what's my opinion when you're starting on a new project, Suhas? Or have to like learn a new project, kind of like what Azim was talking about? Is that what you're asking? Afro DJack, have you tried F Sharp before? I have not. That's on my list. it's on my list of technologies to explore at some point. Azim, we don't have load balancing in Vercel as far as I know. Azure DevOps created or deleted containers based on site traffic. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if Vercel has load balancing either. I would imagine they do have something, right? I mean, Vercel hosts some really big sites, as far as I know. So I'd assume they have some sort of solution for that, and that might already be baked in. You don't even have to worry about it. But I could totally be talking out of school. I don't know what I'm talking about either. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, it sounds like a great opportunity to learn Azim. I mean, it sounds like you've been given like a pretty tall task, but I think that's exciting because that means you're going to learn some new stuff and you're going to get more experience. You can add it to your resume. So yeah, glass half full, you know. Peter, exactly 100. Yeah, I have a colleague at work on our product team or our platform team. That's pretty excited about that type of idea where I don't know how much I believe that that's going to happen, that like all websites and all front ends are just going to completely go away and they're all going to be replaced by AI. But I can definitely see maybe having the ability for users to opt in. Like, I don't know, have you guys seen the new Google AI mode? Hold on, let me see if I can show it to you. Oops. That's not where I want to go. Yeah, so if you search for something in Google now, like let's say JSON. there's this tab they put over here called AI mode. Try to make this a little bigger. And so if you switch into that, you get a completely different user experience that's all like generative AI focused. So I could kind of see like front ends moving to this style where it's like if you want your, like Peter in your case, like if you want your good old CRM, if you're using HubSpot, you can use good old HubSpot. But if you want an AI driven experience, you just like click another tab or toggle something switch and you end up in something like this. Nelson, Java or C Sharp? This is C Sharp, uh, is what I'm working with right now. C Sharp. I haven't actually written any Java in my entire life. Or my entire, I guess I shouldn't say my entire life. I should say in my entire uh, coding, programming career. Microsoft Java, nice, Suhas. Yeah, that's what everybody says. Because I think Java predates C Sharp, right? And they sure do look a heck of a lot. I will say, though, in my humble opinion, again, this is very one sided because I haven't really worked with Java. C Sharp is pretty freaking baller, especially like modern, more recent versions like C Sharp 8 and later. It's pretty great. Azim, I remember when I just got the intern in the organization 8 months ago, 8 months back, where I was asking how I tell my manager to change my project, and here I am working as a full-time employee. Time flies. Yeah, I remember that, Azim. You were actually talking about how you were more on like the data sciencey side of the business, and you were wanting to do more on the engineering side. I think this is wonderful. Like this obviously shows that you're doing a great job. People are willing to give you more responsibility. So kudos to you, man. Tops, man. Peter, I appreciate this share. Yeah, I don't know. I ran into this the other day when I was over. I was searching something. I was Googling something, and this pop up blew up and was like, hey, do you want to use the new AI mode? So, I mean, I think everyone knew this was coming, right? I mean, everyone knew um, that this experience was going to happen at some point. Although I think personally, and maybe that's just because that's what I'm comfortable with currently. I kind of personally still prefer just using search. Give me all the blue links. Afro, how many cups of coffee a day? It varies. Like today, like I've had no, I've had 3 shots of this, 3 shots of espresso, and then earlier I had 2 shots in like a iced vanilla latte. So I guess that would be kind of like 5 cups of coffee spread out throughout the day at various times. All right, one sec. I got to do something real quick. One second. You're going to lose my attention for 1 minute here. Afro, does that impact your sleep in any way? I'm sure it impacts my sleep. I mean, the crazy thing is, I think I've been drinking so much caffeine for so long that I've somewhat built up a tolerance. And so I still can I can be drinking espresso and like fall asleep. But I'm sure 100% the science is very clear that caffeine does disrupt your sleep quality. So it's definitely not it's definitely not a best practice. if you're trying to live forever. I think I've gone through periods though where I've tried to restrict my caffeine intake. Like I've gone through periods where I don't drink caffeine after 3, and I definitely noticed that it was easier for me to fall asleep um, and stay asleep. But then I struggle. Then the part of that I struggle with is then I can't enjoy coffee in the evening, which is something I really like to do. So yeah, it's a catch-22, man. I mean, life's about trade-offs, right? So uh, my problem is I want to be both a night owl and an early bird, right? So I always am trying to burn the candle at two ends. Give me one sec. I got to make sure I do this right. I got too many. My desk is way too little. I need to get a bigger desk. Afro, good answer. Yeah. What are you gonna do, right? I mean, all right, here we go. What's that? 218. Let's see, 218. Okay, there we go. All right, I took care of that task. I just had to do something real quick, work related. Sasha, hello, Sasha. Hey, what are you coding? I'm working on. I'm at this point. I'm trying to add support for citations in my C# class library that I wrote for the Anthropic API. But I've been running my mouth a whole heck of a lot, so we haven't done much coding the last 10 minutes or so. Suha says, we don't care about my health, or we don't care about my health, about code. Code is God. Well, the thing is though, like it's actually kind of a very serious topic of like, if you don't have your health, you really don't have anything. And so it kind of behooves you, if you want to do anything for a very long period of time, you really should be prioritizing your well-being. If you want to be able to write code until you're 70, I always say one of my goals is, on the day that I die, I want to be able to have lifted weights, right? So I want to be able to live for a long time, but I also want to be able to live well for a long time. And I think the same goes for code. Like if you want to be able to solve problems with code when you're 75, 80, 90, right? It behooves you to take care of your well-being. And a big part of that is sleep. And so any productivity I'm gaining now by not prioritizing the quality of my sleep, it's probably net not a gain, right? So don't do what I do. Sharash, I think is how you say it. Sorry if I always feel bad because I don't want people to think I don't care about saying their name correctly, because I do. So if I did screw up your name, I apologize. Tell me which language to learn in 2025 as your experience. Sharesh, I think the first step is just to learn a language, and I always point everybody to JavaScript. And specifically, I point them to Free Code Camp. So Free Code Camp will teach you JavaScript in the context of web development. But the great thing about JavaScript is once you know it, you can really build anything you want to build. There's also a lot of, I think just most jobs that you're going to get, probably, would benefit from knowing JavaScript. But also the nice thing is, once you know one programming language, it's much easier to learn another, right? Like the higher level concepts transfer pretty well. So if you start with just learning one, then very quickly you can sort of figure out what exactly you really want to do and then orient the next language to that, right? So if you learn JavaScript and you get into Java and you get into programming and coding and building things and you say, um, oh, I really want to do stuff with data science, then you can just go learn Python. Or if you say, oh, I really want to do embedded stuff, well, then you can go learn C, right? Or if, I don't know, what's another good example? If you want to do, oh, if you want to do more enterprisey backends, you could learn Java or C Sharp, right? So that's kind of my opinion on it. All evil deeds. All evil deeds. Nice username there. Have you tried ADK? I don't know what ADK is. I don't even know what that acronym is for. Suhas, JavaScript is less than Python. Yeah, CS50 is great, and CS50P is also great. So I second Suhas's recommendations there. Although I don't necessarily know if I agree with JavaScript being less than Python. I think that JavaScript is just, I think JavaScript's a better first programming language than Python. I've said that on stream before, so it's not like a big deal. But I think it's a better. I think Primogen agrees with me. I think I've heard him say the same thing. I just think it's a better first language. I think it has more utility in more places, in my opinion, off the bat. That isn't to say I think Python's not good. I think JavaScript's a better place to start. Agent Dev Kit by Google. Is that like their agent? Is that like their agent to agent framework? Yeah, so this is like their, yeah, this is like their Lang chain. I've not used it though. Looks like they only have a Python and a Java SDK. Which I don't know any Java, and I try to avoid writing Python. Tired of tired of's here. JavaScript's not a programming language. Tired of, you're so full of shit. You can't keep saying that. Like, that's just factually inaccurate. It's factually inaccurate to say JavaScript is not a programming language. Take a look at Quick Start. Oh, okay, hold on. Suhas, LangChain is better. I haven't used LangChain much. So I guess Evil Deeds, what you like about this is you feel like it's very easy to get up and running and building something useful. You can make MC with an agent, with sub agents, with one agent. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I totally see the value in all these SDKs. I think people are kind of overcomplicating though, like what an agent is. I think I wrote a whole blog post about like just this whole AI agent thing. I mean, an AI agent, all it is it's a set of tools and some prompts. You know, and that, I mean, and then it's up to the programmer to figure out how to orchestrate the tool calls, like make the tool call, hand back the response, let the model continue iterating. Like, I'm all for SDKs and frameworks that make it easier to do that, but I think sometimes people get a little caught up in this whole like, oh man, I built an agent. I built 15 agents. It's like, okay, cool. So you put some tools, you wrote some tools, and then you gave it to the model and added a prompt to it, you know? A new GRAR. Is LangChain the best SDK? I haven't used LangChain much. I don't have much from most of the work I've done with Anthropic and with Google Gemini has been in C#, and so for the most part, I've just been using their SDKs and then basically creating my own sort of agent workflow in almost all the cases. Like, I can show you the best example I have. I built basically like a AI assistant for the software that my company makes as a prototype. Let's see if we go to, is it client or no, it's the API layer. So like an agent is just executes a particular task, and that particular task is specific to the agent, and the agent has some tools, and it has a prompt, and then you send that over to the client, and then you get the response back and you handle it. Right? So you can sort of create your own. You don't have to use somebody else's. But I know for a lot of people that I know for people that just want to get up and running with something very quickly, all these SDKs and frameworks are really nice, which I would never argue that. Yeah, so like exactly what Evil Deed set up there is like that's the value is going from 0 to 60 really quickly. Hey, what's up, Hunter? How are you? Tired of. Can you explain what LangChain is in short? LangChain's basically just a framework that helps you build AI systems. Makes it. They have a very nice way to build LLM powered apps because they have kind of a whole framework around it, right? Like imagine like Express for building web apps, right? LangChain is for building LLM powered systems. And then they also have these additional layers that directly integrate with LangChain. This one is pretty cool, Langsmith, to do like evals and observability, and it just all works out of the box. The Lang graph is pretty cool too, to build like more complicated workflows. We did at my company when we were first talking about AI. We were trying to figure out if we could use LangChain, but it just didn't make sense because we're mostly a .NET shop. So bringing in primarily a TypeScript or Python framework just didn't really make sense. Evil Dids, your company taking remote devs? No, not that I'm aware of. I don't think we're hiring at all. You can go to onspring.com/careers. Check that out. But yeah, I have no say in that process. And again, like everything I do on stream and all the content I make, none of it is a reflection of my employers or their opinions. All opinions are my own. Russell, my main project, Discommand, is an agentic AI for Discord. Imagine a bunch of bots in a channel, each with specific purpose, and multiple humans and multiple bots can work together and collab. That's pretty cool. Hunter, I'm okay. Well, hey, Hunter, I appreciate you stopping by, man, saying hi. I know my stream schedule's been kind of weird lately, so excuse me, thanks for making it to one. All right, back to maybe we should write some code now. Okay, so we have citations delta, then we have a citation. So how do we... Let's have Copilot write us a nice little XML comment here. Actually, this also... Text delta. How do I do this? Oh. So this really should be, if I'm following my existing pattern here, this should be citation. Okay. I'm just gonna default this to new text or new citation. Just default it to this. I'm not a big fan of nullable properties. You know, what's funny? Like I saw Russell just posted there about like the Discord bot has like 50 plus MCP tools. I think it's funny because a lot of people are saying like AI is going to replace developers, right? And the current wave right now, the current popular thing in the AI world is agents. And what's funny is that like to make these agents work, there's a lot of deterministic code that you have to write for the tools that you provide to the AI agents, right? So it's like I wonder if people, I wonder if the layperson has a common misconception about the way the agents work with the tools, right? Like, I wonder if people think that like the AI agents are just figuring out how to do these things, but it's like, no, the AI agents are just orchestrating calling code that developers have written to do stuff, right? So it's like, it's kind of, it's, I don't know, I find that humorous of like, AI is going to take all developer jobs, and yet without developers, these AI agents wouldn't have any tools to call. You know, like you gotta have somebody writing the deterministic code that executes the read file tool. Russell, AI will replace developers in the sense that a company that used to need 10 developers now needs 2 or 3. The net will be a whole lot less devs needed in the business world. I guess that's, yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, right? Like a full force multiplier. But I think you could also make the argument the other way. Maybe the rise of AI will lead to a whole lot more need for developers. Either because one, people want to do more because now they can, or two, there's going to be a whole lot of code that was vibe coded, and you need some developers to come in and figure it out. Suhas, give AI eval function. I mean, that's valid, right? Like because like I think the Anthropic API now provides they provide a Python tool, I think, now out of the box. Yeah, code execution tool. They just added this, actually. This is in beta right now. So, I mean, yeah, theoretically, Suhash, you could just like, hey, you don't have any tools, but you can generate code and then run it with this tool. You know? So yeah, I guess that does blow a hole in my argument there. Okay, so now that we have this, we need to go to the I think it's the content delta converter. Yeah, this guy. And now we need to say exactly what Copilot just said. We just need to check if the type is the citation delta, and if it is, then we deserialize it to the citation delta, which isn't going to make our test pass. Our test is still going to fail, but it should fail for a different reason now. So let's do this again. Oh, nope, it did not fail for a different reason. Let's see. Citations delta. I wonder if I just named the string wrong. Yep, I did. Don't trust Copilot. Copilot generated that one. Alright, now let's, I mean, that's the other really nice thing about AI. If you're a developer, you just blame the AI when you fuck something up. Oh no, Copilot fucked that up. I don't know. Alright, let's try again here. Okay, cool, yeah. So now we're actually getting down here, which is what I would expect, but it's empty, obviously, and it's empty because in this create message async method, we aren't actually collecting that event. We aren't actually handling that event. So we have to come in here and we need to do that now. Let's see. So we want to be in here. So if content is text content, let's see. Do we need a new content type too? No, we don't. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so this is the block of this is the block of code we need to change. So we basically need to add another if statement here that says if actually hold on, Copilot, be quiet for a second because you're just gonna if content is text content, and content delta data dot delta. I love pattern matching in C#. It's just the best. Sorry. That one came out of nowhere. Sorry, guys. Suha says, they are less junior dev developers. No junior dev developers equals no senior devs. Which AI senior devs developers don't need junior devs? Senior developers are more efficient. This is happening in law field too. What do you think? Well, I take your point about if you have no junior devs, you can't have senior devs, right? So I do think that's an issue. Like if companies think they can get away with just not hiring, and by junior dev, I don't mean devs who are more inefficient. I just mean devs who have less experience, right? Like a new person out of college. If companies don't hire those people, that's going to be a problem for those companies in 10, 20 years. Because if people can't get jobs with no experience, they're just going to go into different fields. They're going to find other ways to get work. And then inevitably you're going to have this gap of talent, right? A shortage of talent. I think ideally what you would see is you would just see like all developers use AI. And so there's developers with 0 years of experience who use AI tools. And then there's devs who have 10 years of experience that use AI tools. I think that's the right approach. The wrong approach is for companies to say, "Oh, we don't need any 0-year experienced developers anymore because we can just have seniors with AI." Right? But eventually, if you take that approach, eventually you start to hollow out the talent pool. Let's see, Brandon. How long did you learn C#? Brandon, I've been writing C# since 2021, which is sort of kind of a lie because C# was the first language I ever really wrote. I took Computer Programming 1 and Computer Programming 2 in college as electives. My college major is biochemistry. I didn't get a CS degree. And in those classes, we wrote C#. But I can say, like, since, like, 2021, I've been writing C# almost every day. So and that also means that I'm more knowledgeable about .NET things post .NET framework, right? Like, I entered the C# world or the .NET world, like, when .NET 3 came out. All right, so this is now going to say citation delta. Oh. should probably nest this, shouldn't we? I have a lot of nesting going on in this area of the code, which kind of sucks, but let's see, if okay, and then we'll say if content delta dot delta is citation delta, like that, we'll do something different. Suhas, they will be pay releases? What do you mean? I'm not sure I know what you mean by that. Suhas, number, Cobalt, PHP, Java, you think same? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Suhas. I'll be right back. I need to go blow my nose though. Be right back. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm having like a sneeze attack. Yeah, I know. I need to. I can't. I can't stop sneezing. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I can't stop sneezing. Suhas, so you think? Oh my gosh, dude. I have no idea what's happening right now. Hello, Cordy. It's been a minute. Russell, bless you. Thank you, Russell. I don't know if this is going to end, guys. This might take the stream down. Ah. I don't know, dudes. I don't know what to tell you guys. Does anybody know how to stop a sneeze attack? Look up, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that... That is not helping. Ask ChatGPT. Good idea, Russell. Silla's Way, what you building? I'm adding a feature to a class library I wrote in C#. The library basically acts as a client SDK for Anthropic's API. Suahas, remember Cobalt, PHP, Java? We thought it will end for him, but they are doing well. Yeah, Suahas, that's why every time somebody brings up the whole AI replacing developers thing, or really anything, like the other day, Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, he said in like 5 years, 50% of all entry-level office jobs are going to go away. That's a wild claim. You know how slow the world actually moves? I mean, the world moves just so incredibly slow. And I think for people who are in tech, they forget that. Like, they just get so caught up in the day-to-day life that they're living that they forget that, like, the average person is just trying to, like, pay their rent or their mortgage and figure out what to make for dinner. They're not thinking about how AI can revolutionize the way they do their work. Dang, man, this really kind of pissing me off that my nose is starting a fight with me. Suas, in 50 years, maybe. Yeah, that's. I mean, as somebody who worked in a manufacturing plant, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, people were talking about how, like, automation was going to replace all manual labor in manufacturing plants, right? That you were going to have robots doing everything. And I can tell you firsthand that while automation does happen, and there is automation in manufacturing, there is still a hell of a lot of manual labor involved. So I think it's very easy for people to get up and pontificate and make projections and make crazy claims, but nobody actually makes sure that they deliver on those. It's just something to say in an interview. All right, where was I? I was here. So, whenever we have a citation delta, we need to collect that citation and we need to add it to the existing or the current content. So that would mean we need to do this. We need to say content equals well, we actually need to do this in two places because we're making a new text content object every time we get a new text delta. So we actually need to do this in a couple places. Oh, actually, there's probably a bug in my code, actually, now that I'm looking at this. Yeah, there's actually probably a bug in this code, because if you had the cache control set, well, maybe not, actually. Because this is what the model's handing back to me, not what I'm sending to it. Okay, so what I need to do then here is I need to do yeah, we need to do this in two places. So we need to say citations equals text content dot citations. Oh, but only if it's not null. So that'll work. And then we need to, if we're down here, we can say content equals new, and then we'll say so we'll say, well, what will we do here? We'll say then here we'll say if text content var citations will equal a new Sorry, I can't stop sniffling. I don't know what has happened. Suhas, AI is going to make money divide bigger, though. What do you think about money divide? I don't know if AI is going to make it worse. I mean, I think just people's greed makes it worse, you know? I honestly hate what I'm doing right now with this citation thing. I wonder. I was trying to avoid doing any type of mutation, which is why I'm doing this. Uh, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should just. This is fine. I'm just gonna go with it. Just get the test passing, Steven. Don't get distracted. Get the test passing. So we'll say. And then we'll say uh, if text content dot citations is not null, we will say citations dot append, or no, add range. And then we'll say citations equals citations. There's probably more allocations happening there than are needed, but let's see if that makes my test pass. Chad, what you coding? I'm working on oh, it did pass. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, that was much simpler than I thought it was going to be. I'm kind of curious if I can get away with mutating it. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I thought this was a better approach, because I could probably do this where I say content. Oh, I know why, because this doesn't actually provide a setter. So you have to do it inside an initializer. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. That's why I do it that way. So this, though, I can do differently, because all I really need to do here is I need to create a new list of citations. And then I need to say, we'll just leave it the way we had it. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just leave it the way they had it. I don't need to try to get clever. This will be fine. See you, Suhas. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go blow my nose again. This is out of control. I feel like I'm in the battle of my life against my allergies. And I honestly don't know why. Alright, so now that we have this working, we just need to add two more tests, and then we should be good. Suas, I love how Steven's productivity decreases when I'm in the chat. Yeah, I mean, anytime there's conversation in the chat, my productivity falls off a cliff. Also, it doesn't help that, like, I can't stop focusing on the fact that my allergies are punching me in the face right now. Alright, this should be really simple. Okay, here we go. Focus. I'm going to ignore my nose for a second here. I just need to copy these two tests and then modify them to use streaming instead of not streaming. Right? this guy, and this guy. Yank those. Go down here. And then we're going to paste those in right here. We'll change their name. Excuse me. Also, you wouldn't believe how many people give me such shit for having long test method names like this. People hate this. They hate this so much, and I don't know why, but like this is how it works in C#. If you the method you use for your the name of your test method is what shows as the test, like when it's printed in the CLI. So you want that method to be clearly named and descriptive, otherwise it's meaningless, which means you end up with long test methods. Or long test method names. But I've gotten so much shit in my shorts over it. Alright. So the way we do this is we say string. And then down here we have to say result. And then we say bar message complete event equals result dot dot where, and then we say dot first async like that. E dot type is message or event type dot message complete, and then we have to say message complete event dot, oh, we need to also wait this. If you're in the C# world, and you may not know this, because I didn't know this until I started until I wrote this library. So if you're working with iasync enumerables, right? Out of the box, you don't have access to like the normal link methods that you would use on an IEnumerable on a collection. And so there is actually a package though. Let's see, it's like async link right here, system.link.async, that actually provides asynchronous implementations of those link methods. So you can do things like this, first async, or you can say to list async. It's pretty nice. So if you haven't used it, or you are using iasync enumerable, you should check out that package. It makes life a little easier. Otherwise, you'd have to loop over it, right? Which there's nothing wrong with an await for each, but who doesn't like a little link sprinkled on their code? All right, where was I? I was here. Was I here? I think I was all the way down here, wasn't I? Here we go. So then we'll say data dot as message complete event data, And then this is going to be message. Alright, so let's see if this one passes now. Theoretically, if I did everything right, it should just work. Alright, hold on, I gotta do something real quick. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening, everybody who's in the chat. I appreciate you guys. I apologize that my nose kind of disrupted the vibes of the stream. Alright, let's run this. Okay, that passed. And then now we need to switch out this one too. So, oh, you may also be wondering like why the heck I need three separate tests. Because there's there's three different types of citations that Anthropic can return. So I have a test for each one. God, it is so nice using Vim motions. Like I don't know how I for 5 years coded without Vim motions. And I know I'm not even like that good at it, but dang, is it way more enjoyable. Okay, here we go. This one I think will pass. Arkin, Vim motions is love. Vim Vim lotions is life? Why lotions? Or did you just mistype? Did that pass? I didn't see it pass. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, so let's run all our tests now. We'll do that down here in the terminal. Let's see, .NET test. Hopefully these pass. We'll see. They're a little slower because I do have end-to-end tests that actually hit Anthropic's API. So I'm actually spending some money right now to run these tests. I don't think it's very much. I mean, I put $5 on my Anthropic account, and I think I'm still at like $4.30 or something like that. It's pretty crazy how inexpensive uh, the models are. Although Claude Opus is so expensive. It is horribly expensive. It's like 4 times cheaper than all the others. Oh, cool. They all passed. Wonderful. Get status. Lazy get. All right. Let's we'll stage all these guys. And then we'll say feature, add support. Excuse me, add support for citations when streaming. And I don't mean when I'm like literally. I don't mean I added support for citations while I was streaming. I mean I added support for citations when the messages are being streamed back. Okay, so let's quit out of there. I think that's the feature. Like I think I implemented everything that was part of the. I mean, I won't know until somebody complains that I missed something, but based on all the documentation, I could add more tests. That's one thing I could do, is I could add some more tests. Because right now I only added end-to-end tests. I didn't add any new unit tests. So I could probably spend a little bit of time adding tests. So maybe I do that. But probably not tonight, because that doesn't sound very fun. So I might add the off stream. Let's see. I think right now let's switch away from this and let's go back to Tour of Go. I think is what I'm gonna do. Is this clean? Yeah. Okay. How many lines of code did you write tonight? 195. That's pretty good for me. All right, so let's switch our focus here. Control K, Control F. Yeah, I think honestly, guys, this may sound kind of not like this is probably gonna trigger some people in the chat, but honestly, I think VS Code with Vim motions might be superior to NeoVim. I know that's gonna trigger some people, but like for the way I code and how much I rely on tests and debugging, like the experience of debugging in VS Code is just better. It's better than NeoVim. I still really enjoy NeoVim. I just I spent what was it? I probably spent 4 hours coding today in VS Code for the first time in a long time, like 4 or 5 months, and it was it kind of reminds me that it's a pretty great product. Oh shit, this thing doesn't remember where you were? I don't remember where we were. I think we were like, we did that, we did that. We did that. Here we were at 4 loops. That's where we were. For those of you who don't know, if you're new here, or you just weren't here before, um, I try to do Advent of Code every year, and this year I want to try to do Advent of Code in Go. So I'm trying to make an effort to spend some time between now and December actually using Go to do stuff, so that I don't show up the first day of Advent of Code and like, how do I write a for loop in Go? Also, I'm kind of considering getting some coffee. What do you guys think? 11 o'clock at night? No, 10:30 o'clock at night. Is 10:30 too late for another cup of coffee? Alright, let's see. Okay, Go has only one looping construct, which, honestly, I love that. Like, I kind of love that. Like, there's only one way you can loop. This is how you do it. I kind of like that approach. Although, I wish this wasn't the construct. Like, honestly, my favorite way to loop is C#. My favorite way to loop is for each in C#. I think that's a really nice way. For const of, for of is nice in JavaScript as well. Arkin, am I bugged? Are you reading chat from somewhere? My chat is empty of new messages. No, I'm just talking to myself. I'm pretending that people are listening to me talk, and I'm just talking out loud. There's nobody in chat right now. This is what streaming looks like. It's just you in a room talking to yourself. Arkin's like, oh my god, this guy's gone crazy. I think that's what my dog thinks every time I start. Actually, here, let me send you guys a picture of my dog. If you're in Discord, I'm gonna put a picture of my dog right now. It's pretty funny. If you guys want to see, I can't really. I don't know if there's a good way for me to show it on stream. But if you go to if you join my Discord, you don't have to stay. But if you want to see what my dog looks like right now, he looks very relaxed. Arkin, well, I'm here. Well, I appreciate you, Arkin. It's very kind of you. Oh, actually, I think I can pull it up on stream. Hold on. Let me try to pull up my photos. I bet it'll sync. There it is. Yeah, it's synced. This is currently what my dog is doing right now. When was the last time you guys took a nap like that? Well, I guess for him, he probably thinks it's bedtime. I wish I slept that good. It's too funny. Too funny. If Cozy was a dog, yeah. Yeah, if Cozy was a dog for sure. I didn't even notice it until we started talking, and then I looked over and I was like, oh my goodness. Look how chill he looks right now. Alright, more go. Okay, so this is how you do a for loop. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Next, the init and post statements are optional. Okay. All that point, at that point, you can drop the semicolon. Seize while is spelled for and go. I really like this. This is nice. If you omit the loop condition, it loops forever. So an infinite loop is compactly expressed for. I do kind of like this. I like this approach to the for loop. It's like we got one way to do it. You can write it a couple different ways to accomplish what you want to do. I like it. Okay. If with a short statement. Like for, the if statement can start with a short statement to execute before the condition. The variables declared by the statement are only in scope until the end of the if. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So here they're actually creating, or they're declaring, they're declaring and initializing the variable v. I probably should make this a little bigger for you guys. They're declaring and initializing the variable v. Then they're actually using a conditional check using v. That's pretty cool. I like that. Very terse. Let's see. I wish I could make this window a little bigger because now it kind of looks funky. The formatting's off. That's better. Variables declared inside an if short statement are also available inside any of the else blocks. Okay, that's kind of odd, but maybe not odd. Because this is if else or if else if, right? That's all one statement. So I guess it kind of makes sense that V remains in scope for the whole statement. I don't like this because I'm not really writing any code. I'm just kind of like looking at code. Okay, maybe I'm going to write some code here. As a way to play with functions and loops, let's implement a square root function. Given a number x, we want to find the number z for which z squared is most nearly x. I've never heard this phrase. Most nearly x? What an odd way to put it. Computers typically compute the square root of x using a loop. Starting with some guess z, we can adjust z based on how close z squared is to x, producing a better guess. Repeating this adjustment makes the guess better and better until we reach an answer that is as close to the actual square root as can be. decent starting point. A decent starting guess for Z is 1, no matter what the input. To begin with, repeat the calculation 10 times. Print each Z along the way. See how close you can get to the answer for various values of X, and how quickly the guess improves. To declare and initialize a floating point value, give it floating point syntax or use a conversion. Next, change the loop condition to stop once the value has stopped changing or only changes by a very small amount. See if that's more or fewer than 10 iterations. Try other initial guesses for Z, like X or X divided by 2. How close are your function's results to the math.square in the standard library? Interesting. I've never heard of Newton's method before. This is also known as Newton's methods. It's named after Isaac Newton and Joseph Raphson, is a root-finding algorithm which produces successively better approximations to the roots of a real-valued function. Okay, so we started off here by trying to learn Go, and we've quickly fallen off into sophisticated mathematics. Mr. DeCookie, I have finished my long project of 4 days. Well, that's fantastic, man. I'm glad you finished it. Arkin, my opinion about Go. It could have been the perfect language. Syntax, philosophy, keep it simple and small, 11 out of 10. Comprehensive standard library, 10 out of 10. Modern syntax, negative 99 out of 100. If only syntax was more like C or Java, it would end up as perfect language. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize it. I find its syntax pretty terse, but I guess I'm not sure what you mean as modern, or what you think of. Like, what's a language that you think of as more modern? I guess Java is more modern, but I don't know much Java. I also don't know C. I gotta go blow my nose again. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. This is the most I've ever gotten up during a stream. Arkin, I am anti-modern syntaxes like Kotlin and the like. I like oldie but simple Java, C, C Sharp. So I guess you're saying Go is too modern then, based on your definitions. All right, let's see if I can Let's see if I can do what this exercise wants me to do. I guess what it wants me to do is this, right? It wants me to do 4. Shit, now I can't. Oh. It does have syntax highlighting. It's just off. Why would they have that off by default? Okay, so if I do 4 like this, then it's going to run forever. Right? Yeah, it's just going to run forever. Okay. So what I need to do is it says, to begin, repeat the calculation 10 times. So that's where I'd say, or can I do that? I can do that all in the loop, can I? Now I need to go. I should have paid more attention to those other modules. Mang Pepin, just do the damn loop as many as X time. As many as X. Oh, is that what I need to do? I'm not as smart as you, Mang Pepin. Forgive me. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for right here. Okay. Let's see. Run. Oh. Run. Okay. So we're doing that. Mang Pepin, no, I am wrong. Yeah, I think I just have to do so I think what they're saying is I should basically do this. I should basically say this equals 1.0 and then I should reassign and decrement it inside the loop using this formula. And then I should, oh, I guess this doesn't need to be a capital. And then I should return Z. And then let's also, let's import math, I think. And let's print that. Let's say format dot print line math dot square root of 2. Oh wow, that's pretty close. Just going off 10 times. So I guess that's where they're saying, so what I should do is I should loop not for an arbitrary number, but I should loop whenever the change is I guess, insignificant or like stops changing altogether. So it says next, change the loop condition to stop once the value has stopped changing. So that's where we need to keep track of like a previous so this would be we need like a current and a previous, right? So or I guess I can call this previous. And then instead of that, we just say no, it stops changing. So hold on. How should I do this? So if it stops changing, how do I detect how much it's how do I detect the change? Hey, what's up, Cherie? How are you? Sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once right now. Yonlei, hey, yeah, Go Lang, I see. Yeah, I've been wanting to do advent of code in a language other than C sharp, and so I thought this year maybe I could try to do advent of code in Golang, but obviously I need to learn Golang first. Uh, what? Huh? Why? Honey? Did you need me? Oh. Yonlei, fun fact, I learned Golang in just a week. Ah, well you're an impressive specimen. Let me give you tips for concurrency. I think what you meant was concurrency, not currency. Use GoFunk in channels. They're really useful. Oh, very cool. So Go has channels. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I haven't actually got that far, so I'll have to do some learning on that. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what I'm supposed to do with this loop right now. So I think what if I do this? What if I do delta not equals 0? And then I declare delta up here as 0. And then delta is actually equal to this. And then z is equal to z minus delta. What happens then? Oh, it would help if I could write the proper syntax. Okay, so that didn't work because yeah, thank you, Yanlei. If I could write correctly. So I think so the problem here is that well, let's see what delta is. So format dot print line delta. Oh, because I'm assigning it 0 up. I'm an idiot. So it's never actually entering the loop. So what do I? So I guess I could set this to like I don't know, I can set it to like 1. And now it's gonna run endlessly. Okay, so it timed out. Bar delta float 64. Darwinesh. I'm not doing what that command says I'm doing anymore. That's what we were doing earlier. Now I'm trying to learn how to do Go. How to write Go is what I'm doing now. Let's see. So let's see what this is. Format dot print line delta. Okay, so I should actually stop looping. I should actually stop looping here. Shouldn't I? Because now it's just the same value over and over and over again. So maybe I should check to see if this is like, I bet if I put this into ChatGPT, it would solve it in like 3 seconds, right? Yanlei, I actually skip some math like this and go forward learning on syntax. Still works, but trying to re-implement things is also cool. Yeah, I mean, I think the point should be less about trying to solve this problem, more about just learning the loops. I also feel like I'm kind of running out of steam. Yanlei, this is math, so it makes sense. Yeah. Okay, what else they got for me here? Loops and functions, okay, great. Oh, nice, they've got switch statements. I like that. Oh, you don't have to write break. That's nice. I always forget break statements. So that's pretty nice. Just one letter doing multiple tasks. Yeah, I kind of like that approach. I like that approach to looping that, hey, when we loop in Go, we only really have one construct for that. We just use 4. I think that's kind of nice. I mean, how many people actually use while or do while loops, right? I bet while loops get used more than do while loops, but I'll bet 4 loops in almost every language are used more than either of those. All right, so we got switch. This is, I don't know. I don't know if this is actually helping though, this whole tour of Go thing. I mean, I think it's good to get an idea of the syntax, but I think at the moment I really am just more, I really just want to be able to like solve simple problems with it. And so I think, I don't know, maybe doing some leak code with it would be helpful. Or some like code katas with it. Code wars. Switch cases, evaluate cases from top to bottom. Fair enough. Awesome. Switch without a condition is the same as switch true. This construct can be a clean way to write long if then else chains. Fair enough. Okay, this keyword is interesting to me. Okay, so a defer statement defers the execution of a function until the surrounding execution returns. So this is like basically allows you to do, like you could basically do like file handle cleanup, right, with defer. Yeah, okay. So basically this will execute at the end of this function's scope. Which is kind of interesting. It makes for very awkward code though, right? From a, I don't know, from a readability standpoint, it feels very awkward. But I guess it's a nice way to like say, hey, I don't want to forget to do something, so I'll just defer it. I'll just make sure I do it now, but defer it till later. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's see, stacking defers. Deferred function calls are pushed onto a stack. When a function returns, its deferred calls are executed in last in, first out order. So last in will be 10, so it should be the first thing that gets printed. Or 9, I guess I should say. Okay, well that's good to know. We're dealing with the stack. All right, we finished that lesson. Oh, now we have to deal with pointers. I don't know if I have it in me to look at that. I think this might be where the stream ends, guys. I'm running out of steam. A 2-hour stream for me is pretty good. Yeah, defer, cleanup. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally understand the whole. Yeah, closing an open stream. Yeah, I totally understand the kind of the use case. It just seems kind of, I don't know, the readability of it all seems odd, but Yonley chill. Pointer and Go is not like pointer and C. Yeah, I don't know anything about C, so I come with no preconceived uh, notions, but I just feel like my brain is tapped at the moment. I really struggled with that for loop problem, probably more than I should have. All right. Well, chat, if you guys are good, y'all don't have anything you want to take a look at or do, I think I'm gonna hang it up for the evening. I'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I actually need to make some videos. I haven't made a video on my channel in like a week and a half. All right. Closing down the tabs here. I think it was a successful night. Productive. Got some stuff done. Learned some more Go. Wrote some lines. 195 lines of code, you know, just crushing it. Alright, guys. I will see you in the next one. Okay? I hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday. If it's Sunday for you, have a good rest of your Sunday. And I'll either see you in the next stream or I'll see you in Discord. If you guys want to join my Discord, there's the link. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the comments of a video or a short. All right. Bye. Bye, guys. Have a good day.